Well, Eva Locker had a very interesting talent. It was said that she could milk people's cows by laying a towel on her back porch over a rail, and then she would milk the edges of the towel like she was milking a cow, and milk would come out of the towel and fill her pails, and all of her neighbors' cows were dried up and they had no more milk. So, as you can see, belief in this was very strong at the time in that area. Well, according to a lot of historians, as soon as education became more prominent, cities were established, people stopped believing in that stuff. According to them, they said, "Oh, we're more rational now. We don't believe in that kind of thing." That's actually written in a lot of the histories at the time. Well, unfortunately for the historians, people did still believe in that kind of thing. And even in the 1870s, there was an interesting case. This was in Franklin County, which is in the heart of southern Illinois. There were these two sisters, sisters of a man named James Williams, and they were said to, every night, they would climb up to the top of their house and they would dance around the comb of the roof, and they were said to conduct acrobatic feats that no human being could accomplish. And they attracted large crowds of people. People would come from all over to watch this. And I'm going to read a description of what they did to you right now because I think that you'll enjoy it. This is actually from the New York Times that reprinted a local newspaper story on the Williams sisters. The headline is, "Witchcraft in Illinois, Strange Performances in Franklin County, a couple of frisky young females." The correspondent described the scene this way: "Some 50 or 100 persons are there every night, and they say it is quite entertaining to witness the sisters' performances. They are perfectly sane during the day, but at the approach of night, they become frenzied and uncontrollable, performing feats that the best acrobats could hardly perform. Scaling the house, they dance upon the comb of the building, apparently with perfect ease and impunity, uttering at the same time the most hideous and frenzied screams. You can imagine the excitement when I tell you that, since I began to write, nearly 50 people have passed through our little village on their way to see the girls." Now here's another description. This one's from the Chicago Tribune. This author says that the girls sang beautiful songs instead of screaming. He said that when they climb up to the roof, they glide down on its edge and swing off, holding by their teeth to the comb, then suspending themselves in the air, throw themselves back again on the roof, pass over the gable end, go through a small opening 10 by 12 inches into the garret with as much ease and rapidity of a squirrel. So now they must have been very thin to fit through a window of that kind, but it certainly is possible. The interesting thing about these sisters is that they were said to speak to each other in a language only they could understand, and they also would eat flies until they vomited. One of the things that you read about in accounts of witchcraft in England is that people who were bewitched were said to vomit weird objects like pins and insects and things of that nature. So did anybody see that movie with Jack Nicholson where he was the devil? I think it was like The Witches of Westwood. Eastwood, yeah. I like that movie because there is a scene where he makes them vomit up cherries and things like that, and that's actually comes from these old accounts of people who were bewitched. So it's very accurate. Well, these girls, the origin of the story was that their father and the people of the community thought that they had gone crazy, essentially, but he called for a doctor, and when the doctor could find nothing physically wrong with them, they decided it must be witchcraft. And according to the girls, they had met an old lady on the side of the road, and they had touched fingers with the old woman, and they were magically transported to the woman's home, where there were a bunch of beautifully dressed women dancing around. And the woman said, sign my book and give your soul to the